When we talk about heating in a commercial building, a big commercial building, we are often talking about hot water. And in many buildings, like the LCC campus, there are boilers. And here are a couple of pictures from LCC's central plant in Building 12. This blue one I was rather fond of. This is the old boiler. I was fond of it because it looks a bit like a locomotive boiler, don't you think? So that's been replaced, and here this white thing, that's actually two boilers, and new, modern, efficient. So the boiler heats water, and we use that for hot water, domestic hot water, like comes out of your faucet, and for heating our buildings. And the hot water goes through a heat exchanger, essentially a radiator, inside the air handling system. It's like a radiator in a car. You can use any fuel to heat water in a boiler. At LCC, in the old days, that old boiler used fuel oil, like diesel. We switched to natural gas, and that's primarily what we use now at LCC. You can also use electricity. I'm going to skip through these. These are just FYI. A common way of heating something is with a heat pump, which is nothing more than a refrigeration system with a reversing valve. It's like a refrigerator or an air conditioner, same system, and it's got a valve that you can switch from heating mode to cooling mode. And in a commercial building, you often find water-to-air heat pumps. So you use the heat pump to generate heat and heat the water. Then the water flows through the rooms in the building, and air flows over the heat exchanger and picks up the heat. The heat pump uses a refrigeration cycle. Let's wait and we'll talk about the refrigeration cycle in the next slide when we're talking about cooling and air conditioning. So I'll skip over these and make one final comment. Places like the LCC campus, big hospitals, cities will use something called district heating and district cooling, where there's a central plant, like we have in Building 12 at LCC. There's a central plant, and hot water or chilled water is pumped out from that central location to buildings throughout the district. In downtown Eugene, you know the steam plant, the historic 1930s building at eWeb? That used to generate steam that was pumped through pipes, underground pipes, into buildings throughout downtown Eugene. And then the buildings in Eugene had these wonderful cast iron radiators, and the hot water would go through them. Anyhow, memory lane. So that is district heating, where you have a central plant and you pump heating and cooling out to the other buildings.